I can go over and get mine. Should I go over and get mine?
Yeah, if you want. We're live now, so as soon as you're over here, we'll start talking. Okay, brother. All right, Coach. Hi, Andy. How you doing, buddy? All right, I'm going to talk to Rose.
Check, check.
Yeah.
Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check. Check, 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 check. Testing. Testing. All right, ladies and gents, we're going to get an interview here with Michael Gross. We'll get the camera turned towards us. We'll get a little interview, and then we'll get ready for the game. I will, as soon as Eric's ready here. We're good. All right. Right here, big guy. We're live. Yep, we're live. Camera's right there. You and I will talk. We're ready to roll.
I'm talking to you, right?
Yeah, you're talking to me, you're talking to everybody. All right.
Talking to a grateful nation.
Yeah, man.
That's
Hey,
right.
Del Jackson here. We got LO Hoops live. Boys final, Lebanon, Hempfield. I got my buddy Mike Gross here. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Well,
You look
know,
fabulous.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's a crazy first game here. We'll
It
see,
was.
see how the second game goes. Talk to us about Lebanon. You've seen Lebanon a lot this year.
I
Go ahead.
have. Well, the thing that impresses me is their defense. And there's a guy on their coaching staff named Terry Bartlett who played for Chick Hess many moons ago and has been a college assistant for a long time. And I watch them play and see the connection they have defensively and the helping man-to-man that they play. And I see his hands all over that. So I said something to him the other night about, are you kind of the defensive coordinator here? And he said, we don't have, which of course I realize they don't have those titles. But he kind of, Tim likes to do the offense. And that's what I see. And so it's their defense is more or less a constant. So they have beat all the people they're supposed to beat this year. Somebody throws a funky defense at them, and they struggle with it for 4 or 5 possessions. They get through that, and we've seen that the last couple games. That's the thing that impresses me about Lebanon, in addition to the fact that they have good players. They're one of 4 or 5 teams in our league that are really solid and have good players, and obviously 2 of those teams tonight.
Cool. So you got good players. Give us a couple names here. Throw them out.
Well, I like both the guards. Luke Collins, a point guard. He's a junior. He's been playing since he was a freshman.
Yeah.
Can get to the rim a little bit, shoots the 3 a little bit, handles pretty well. Doesn't try to do too much. I think this is a theme in our league this year. We have a lot of good guards, but none of them are doing that Russell Westbrook, James Harden thing where they just bounce, and everybody watches them, which I like. And also Ferreira, Marquise Ferreira, the other guard. He's kind of a 2 guard, and I like his game a lot too. Moves really well without the ball. He's got a mid-range game, a pull-up, and again, last year I would have described him as totally a slasher.
Yeah.
This year, much more nuanced. Doesn't go into that situation where you're going to give the ref a chance to call a charge block. He's going to pull up and shoot a 12-footer. So. They're just 2 really good, mature guards.
And you can't talk about the Cedars without talking about the big boy inside.
That's right. They have a center, which is kind of rare these days. They have a guy who is actually a center. Isaiah Rodriguez, 6'5", probably 220.
Yes.
He's a football quarterback. He's going to play college football at Wilkes. But he's become a real good basketball player. He gives them a lot of things that the other teams really have to pay attention to him.
Both ends.
They have to on both ends,
Both
and they have to honor the fact that he can stand in there with his back to the basket and be a center. And so he does a lot of things. The other night in the Warwick game, he had 20 rebounds.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he's not a great foul shooter, so that could be something for people to watch tonight because, he's a guy that other teams will foul, almost, sometimes foul on purpose, and he's the guy to foul. So that's something to watch, but he has become a real good basketball player in addition to the football thing.
All right, let's flip it over. Let's talk about Hempfield.
Hempfield.
You got to talk about their guards. What do you think?
Two really good guards.
Yeah.
That's right. Miguel Pena is a sophomore. He's more of a point guard, and very solid kid. You can tell that he's played a lot.
Yeah.
You can tell that he's done the AAU stuff and everything. Really good with the ball. And the other one is this Ryan Hilton, who is more of a move without the ball, catch and shoot guy. His shot is a little bit funky looking, but it's a little bit of a hesitation thing when he's in the air with it, which I think makes it hard to go. Yeah, right. So they're very solid. The thing that I think is interesting about them recently, and I think will be a big factor in this game, is that their big kids have come on a little bit lately.
Yes.
This is Sears.
Yes.
He has not just a screener and a rebounder, but a pretty good passer, and he'll score a little bit. And the other one coming off the bench is this Devon Edmond Green.
Oh, he had an awesome game the other night. Andy covered that game, and that's all he talked about. He said that this guy came in and he scored, he changed some shots, and he just did a great job on the defensive end too. I mean, he's a dunker, right?
Yes, he's a dunker. I was just going to say that he's had some really good dunks in games that I've seen. So what those guys will do, and what their matchup with Rodriguez, even if it isn't a head-to-head on both ends. I think that's a critical piece of what will happen tonight, today.
I think so too. I mean, how about tempo? Is there any? Both teams can play slow. Both teams can play a little fast, I think. But I mean, is a faster game benefit to the Cedars or not?
I think it probably does benefit the Cedars a little bit, but I really don't think that's a big factor. I talked to. A couple of weeks ago, I was covering a Hempfield game, and I said to Danny Walk, their coach, do you care? Do you care what tempo you? And he was adamantly, no, we don't care. We'll go. If you want to go fast, we'll go fast. We can play any pace, and I think that's sort of true for Lebanon. Lebanon doesn't particularly look to run, although I think they are the quicker team.
Yeah.
I don't think they particularly look to run. I see a lot of poise on both of these sides.
Well,
teams.
that's why they're in the LL
finals. A lot of poise, and I love that word connection in basketball. I see a lot of connection with both of these teams, which means that they're well coached. They've got a lot of kids that are all in, and it's working for them.
Okay, I don't look ahead too much, but I'm assuming you do a little bit. Are both of these teams going to the districts next week?
Both of these teams are going to the districts, although I think Hempfield right now is around 10th.
Okay.
In the power rankings.
Where they take 12?
And they take 12.
For the 6A.
Yeah, they take 12 in 6A. Both of these schools are 6A.
Today's the cutoff?
Today's the cutoff, but this game doesn't count.
Right.
Playoff games don't count. It's only regular season games. There is a big Central Dauphin and Central York are playing today.
Wow.
And that's a regular season game that will impact all of this.
Yes.
And it looks like in 6A, it looks like Reading, Wilson beat Reading last night for the Berks County title. And you probably throw Central Dauphin in there too. They've been consistently very good all year. They have a lot of weapons.
Yes.
And then there's a whole bunch of really solid teams. I think it'll be a good tournament. I think from the first round on, it'll be tough, good games.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts on the districts? We only got a champion going forward. Do you like that or not? One team's coming out of like Reading or Wilson or Central Dauphin.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Do you like that or not?
I don't really like it, but I understand it because of this year that's unlike any other year, which we all know why. Because of the pandemic, they decided to truncate the postseason early on, and the reason why I'm okay with it, but the reason why I'm a little leery about saying I like it for this year is because I think we have a lot of teams for whom making the state playoffs would be, hey, we've had a great season. These are two of them, actually.
Yeah.
And I think we have a lot of teams like that. I think Columbia Lancaster Catholic would be in that category. Manheim Township, certainly Warwick would be in that category.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be tough to win a district title, certainly, for anybody except, I would say, from our league, except for that Lancaster Catholic Columbia matchup
Yes.
in Class AAA.
Yeah.
I think they are clearly the class of that field.
They're probably
in Class
headed.
AAA.
Yeah, they're probably headed. Okay, you got any other teams? Like we talked about Lancaster Catholic and Columbia. Any other teams from our LL area that you think could make a little bit of a run here?
Well, a team that's playing really well is Manheim Township.
Hell yeah.
They're playing as good as anybody in the league right now, and I think they've won 8 straight, and that includes wins over both of these teams and Warwick.
Yeah.
Now, they're not automatic, you know. And again, a guard-oriented team that's very well coached and a lot of scorers. You know, they're a tough out. I would throw them in there. Lampeter, Strasburg, and Cocalico had good seasons and have some really quality
solid
players.
teams.
Yeah,
Solid.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with our league this year.
Solid.
A lot of solid basketball teams. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, my man. Hey, thank you for everything. We love following you in the LMP. I know I talked to Jeff earlier and the girls. It's like just checking you guys out at night, checking I mean, you guys put the stuff up. It's crazy. I mean, your game's over at 9:15, and you got everything up at 9:30. It's
you know
nuts.
what? It used to be something that sort of went without saying in our business when newspapers were what I remember newspapers being, where you actually had people in the office who are doing the standings, doing the box scores, turning it over quick for a print product that's good, where the trucks are going to roll in a couple hours, you know. But it does not go without saying most places, which I'm happy and kind of proud to say that we still are all in as far as trying to provide that.
Yeah, you guys do a great job. I think anybody that's a sports fan, you know, I get the newspaper. Lancaster Online is a good thing. You can read. You can also see the galleries and stuff that Chris puts up. So
yeah, Chris is one of the best, and I don't know if you noticed, but before
he's got the backboard up there. Yeah, I saw him climbing around. Somebody says, "Hey, what's going on up there?" I said, "I'm telling you, this angle is cool."
Yeah, he's going for that camera behind the backboard, which is a Sports Illustrated type thing
it's
usually,
beautiful.
But in this case, it's Lancaster newspapers.
Beautiful. Hey, thank you, my man.
You're welcome, my man.
We will follow your stuff, and hopefully we'll run into each other again.
No question.
All right, appreciate it.
Good afternoon and welcome to the boys Lancaster Lebanon League Championship game here from Manheim Township High School. It is Lebanon and Hempfield coming your way, a battle of Section 2 and Section 1 for the Lancaster Lebanon League title. This afternoon's game is brought to you by Ortho Associates of Lancaster. Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster Ltd. is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Lancaster Lebanon League. We partnered to offer 2 $800 scholarships to 1 male and female high school student in the Lancaster Lebanon school districts. The scholarship is available to any athletes and or support staff to include but not limited to athletic training, student aides, equipment manager, or team managers, with the primary focus on being service to our community. Eric Thomas and Warren Goodling with you here this afternoon. We got a pretty good one here between, again, the Section 2 champ Lebanon at 16-3 and the Section 1 champ Hempfield at 12-3. And these two teams, akin to close games this season, they've gone down to the wire. They both had to win play-in games to get into the LL tournament on Tuesday night. Both succeeded in that. We saw Lebanon on Thursday night in their semifinal against Cocalico. And I think one thing stood out to me in that game, Coach, and that is this team, when they fire on all cylinders, are as good as anybody that we have seen all season long. They're going to have that type of performance here this afternoon against this Hempfield team.
Yeah, they're playing. Hempfield's on a roll right now, too. They've really seemed to get their chemistry together the last, week and a half, 2 weeks, right exactly when you need to get it. They have 4 seniors that are playing the best basketball of their career. So they're getting some leadership from that aspect. And these are old rivals that have played in a lot of big games in this league over the years.
Yeah, a lot of close games in this tournament, too, that these two have had. These two are also a combined 11-3 in single-digit games this season. So let's see how this plays out, but we think this is going to be a pretty good game. You look at Lebanon also, again, we talked about this on Thursday night, 22-22 the last 2 seasons. Tim Sparrow's got this thing rolling. He's 16-3. They're back in the final for the first time since 2017. What can we expect from this team this afternoon?
Well, the thing about Lebanon, when you watch Lebanon, is you notice that they have a total team effort on offense and defense. They share the ball. They have some guards that are very creative with it. They have role players, but they have balanced scoring for the most part. And every now and then you'll have that one guy that might get 20 points, but it could be a different guy each night.
Danny Walk said in the preseason run-up to his team tipping off that his team needed to find an identity this season. The identity the last couple games has been Ryan Hilton and the way he has been able to shoot the basketball.
Well, Ryan is a very dedicated player. He's been a 3-year starter. And, last year he started the season. He had some injuries to overcome from the shoulder. But now he's playing on all cylinders. He's a very confident player. And the thing about Ryan is he sets the example for the rest of his teammates.
You look at these starting 5s here. We'll get to those in a moment. But across the way, you look at Lebanon's scoring. They don't have a player in the top 30 of the Lancaster Lebanon League. You have to get to 35 where you find Marcus Ferreira. And then 37 is Isaiah Rodriguez. For Hempfield, Ryan Hilton just outside the top 15. He's number 16. Then you have to go all the way into the 30s to find their second leading scorer. Yet these teams are so balanced, and they can score and they can shoot and they can do everything you need to do effectively to win games.
Yeah, well, number one, they play good defense. Number two, they're not going to turn the ball over. Okay, they're going to run their offense. Both teams can get up and down and run the fast break. Hempfield has the ability to run the fast break as well as Lebanon does, but they also can slow the game down. So both teams have found winning is really good. They like winning, and they don't care who scores as long as we score, and that's how both of these teams play.
Has there been a little bit more of a sense of urgency with Lebanon just because they split with Warwick? They had to win that emotional game on Tuesday night. Obviously, both teams hosted their semifinal, but Hempfield already beat McCaskey twice during the season. They didn't necessarily have the same kind of maybe urgency behind that play-in game as Lebanon did. Is there any advantage to what Lebanon went through compared to Hempfield to get to this point?
No, I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because whenever you play McCaskey, it's a big game. So Hempfield had their sights on beating them for the 3rd time. And that's no easy task that when you can do that. And they accepted that challenge, and they did it. And I think that situation has helped them, as well as Lebanon having to beat Warwick. The interesting thing is these two teams were supposed to play in a crossover game, and it was on a Friday night a couple weeks ago. We said, oh, wow, that'd be a great game. But you know what? We saved it the best for last.
We certainly did. Yeah, it's been a crazy season. We know that as we wind down here and get to this LL tournament. Both these teams, by the way, are going to be in the District 6 field. Standings and all that stuff will be completed tonight. once these games are in the book. This does not count towards the standings, by the way, so whatever happens here does not affect either of these two teams as it relates to the district tournament. Let's quickly look at today's starting lineups. First for Lebanon, they're going to be led by their backcourt, and we're going to see two of the best backcourts in all the LL this season, Luke Collins and Marcus Ferreira. Both guys have been contributors for a couple of years, and Ferreira's his best game was against Warwick the first time they played, 18 points. Collins, he'll come out, he'll hit a three early, but it's more about what he does without scoring the basketball that's been so valuable to this Lebanon team this season.
Well, Collins has 31 made threes, and he shoots at 76% from the foul line. But his dribble drive penetration and his ability to find the open man, knowing what's going on, has really been a key for this team.
Isaiah Rodriguez, obviously the big guy in the middle. He's had a monster LL tournament. We're counting that playing game as part of the tournament. And then they round out the starting five with Braden Allwine, who had a big game on Thursday night in the semis with 16 points, including the 2 buzzer beaters at the end of the quarter. And Kevin Smith is the 5th starter for Hempfield. Again, the backcourts. We're going to talk about these guards all afternoon long. You got Ryan Hilton, you got Miguel Pena. Both have scored in droves in some games. There's been games where they've scored the same amount of points. There's been games where they've hit the same amount of three-pointers. They kind of run in sync with each other. Hilton's had a little hotter of a hand here slightly in the tournament so far.
I think Miguel Pena has grown into moving from a sophomore, and I'm now a junior or maybe going to play like a senior today, because he fit in nicely coming in from a sophomore. He can score, but he can really pass the ball too.
Michael Hester, Cole Overbaugh, and Daniel Sears round out the starting five. Overbaugh had a big game against Conestoga Valley earlier this season with 30, and again, a very balanced team. Slight edge maybe bench-wise to Hempfield. They've got a lot of good minutes and good contribution from their bench guys, Brandon Hagel and Davion Edmond Green here in the LL tournament.
Yeah, Hagel and Edmond Green are playing a key role for the Black Knights, and both of them have done a great job down the stretch here.
You're going to see them in opposite uniforms today. It's Lebanon in the red with the white trim, and it's Hempfield in the white with the red trim. So opposite uniforms here this afternoon in case you're looking at the visual here on the screen. This afternoon's game is brought to you by the Lancaster Lebanon League officials. Thinking of becoming a basketball official, check them out online at http://llbbo.org. And also, today's game is sponsored by Central Penn College. The college's spring term starts on April 5th. To apply or to learn more, go to centralpenn.edu. Well, lineups are being introduced now, and we are set to go here just about for what should be a tremendous cap to the LL season. Both these teams will go on, as we said, to the District 3 6A tournament, and we'll see what happens with their matchups. We'll know the matchups later tonight, or at least should have a rough idea of the matchups tonight. Great game last night between Wilson and Reading. Those two are going to be the 1-2. And then Central Dauphin looks like they're going to be the 3, but they have a key non-conference game tonight against Central York, so we'll see what happens there. We'll step aside for the anthem, and then we'll tip things off here from Manheim Township High School. All right, we're about set for a tip here this afternoon from Manheim Township High School. Again, it's going to be Smith, Ferreira, Collins, Allwine, and Rodriguez for Lebanon. And for Hempfield, it'll be Pena, Overbaugh, Hilton, Hester, and Daniel Sears, the big guy at 6'5". Good matchup in the paint today between Rodriguez and Sears, as we have not seen too many teams, at least in the games that we've seen with Lebanon, where they have the size equal on the opposing team. And that is the case here today.
And Davon Edmund Green will also get in there for Sears, and probably him and Sears are going to split some time guarding Rodriguez today.
The overball and Rodriguez to do the honors for each team. And we are set to go. The tap controlled by Lebanon. It's Ferrara right off the tap. Allwine in the corner. Now it's Ferrara again. Ferrara to the bucket, and too strong that time. But Smith is there to crash the boards. He can't connect. And the rebound goes to the Knights.
Yep. Hempfield came out and played man-to-man that time. And Lebanon's playing man-to-man. There's Hilton coming off a down screen. He knocks it down for 3.
Wasting little time is Ryan Hilton as he hits his first bucket of the afternoon. 3-0 Hempfield to start. Collins and Smith. Smith stripped. Boy, good effort to get that ball back, keep the possession alive. There it is inside to Rodriguez, and right away they're going to hit Sears with a foul.
Well, we saw the other night where they really let him play down there, and that whistle was a little quick, and they're going to try to clean that up maybe from the get-go.
First team foul on either side as Collins will inbound. Allwine, who was so hot from 3 in that game against Calico the other night. Collins will take his first crack at it and tie this one up.
Again, he came off a little down screen, and you're going to have to trail that down screen, and you can't go under it.
Pena and Collins matched up. There are good matchups all over the place. Smith steps out on overball. There's Hester, and then he gets it back to overball. They find Hilton pull up. And that one hits the bottom of the net. Out of bounds, it'll stay with Hempfield.
And both teams running a version of Hempfield's running more of a motion offense, and now they're going to have to get to the zone. Lebanon will zone the out-of-bounds plays, and they're in a 2-3 zone right now. See if they stick with it.
Hester for 3, no. And Collins, the shortest guy on the floor, is going to get the rebound.
Well, Collins is usually at the right spot.
Throws that one wide for Ferrara, but he's able to get it right up near half court.
You know, Hempfield plays Cedar Crest each year twice, and they play the dribble drive. So they have a scheme against the dribble drive offense.
Collins. Smith.
Yep.
Tried to feed it inside to Rodriguez and threw it away. Hilton leans in. That one's too wide. Hester back out to Hilton. Boy, he thought about it. He was open for a split second.
Good recovery by Collins.
Pena, he'll pull up for 3. No. Rebound falls all the way to Overball.
Yep.
Hester now to Hilton. Right back into Overball. Spins on Smith. Good position by Smith. That's out of bounds to Lebanon.
Now we see Matthews entering the game. Again, we've been really impressed with this young man this week. Started seeing him last week coming in and getting some varsity time.
He's become the 6th man for Lebanon, and he has done a lot of things for them, scoring and defensively. A couple blocks that we've seen him have, and he shuffles his feet that time for the second Cedars turnover. Little nervy here in the early going.
Well, yeah, I mean,
this
is, both teams are playing all out on defense. And, you know, the offense isn't quite in the flow yet. Now, Hempfield will run a set. Little post-to-post screen from the high post.
Sears, he'll drive on Rodriguez, but he traveled.
Yeah.
That's the first Hempfield turnover of the afternoon here. We're still tied at 3 with 5:18 to play in the first quarter.
You know, both of these coaches have done such a great job preparing for the game situation as far as matchups go and what the other team does.
Allwine. Collins will take his second 3 and knock it down. Lebanon's got the lead.
Nice little ball reversal there. Collins was in the middle there and came out off a screen and shook open.
Anya the other way. Hester, Hilton trying to post up Overball again. He gets Matthew on him inside. Hempfield will back it out and reset with 4:35 to play in the quarter. Pena had an opening floater. No, got his own rebound. Head fake back to Hester. Hester cuts through the lane. Now Sears hands it off to Hilton. 24 against McCaskey. 11 the other night against Catholic in the semifinal. It's Pena up top. He'll pull up for the 3. No, and the rebound to Matthew.
And that time Lebanon got the defensive rebound because Hempfield was getting a couple shots.
Double dribble on Collins. That's the 3rd Lebanon turnover here in the first 3 minutes and 55 seconds.
Chuck Snyder made the call. I didn't quite see that one. I wasn't really watching for it.
Pena.
1-4 set. They'll run a shuffle cut and then a ball screen. Now there's a roll by Overball.
Good matchup here with Pena and Collins as Pena readjusted himself there. Overball, now Hester. And Overball. Pena, good patience here by Hempfield in the early going. Trailing by 3, Pena. Entry to Overball, nice pass out of that to Sears. Rodriguez recovers, now it's Hester. Nice cut by Hilton, he finds Overball, couldn't hang on to it. Again, pass underneath to Sears that's wide of him, but he recovers. Now Pena again. He goes one-on-one with Collins, fade away in the lane, is tipped. Looked like Rodriguez got a piece of that. Rodriguez definitely got a piece of that one. All one's got the board.
Yep, and that's what he does. He can make
Covers, now Pena again. He goes one-on-one with Collins, fade away in the lane, is tipped. Looked like Rodriguez got a piece of that. Rodriguez definitely got a piece of that one. Cedars in front. Collins again. Rodriguez, they feed him. Good positioning by Sears. Rodriguez,
yep.
Tough angle. Got his own rebound. Goes up in traffic and scores and is fouled.
Well, that's the second ever by Rodriguez, and we see him do that all week.
Give me the second team foul and the second on Sears. So Danny Walk's going to go right to Davion Edmund Green, number 34.
Well, they have 10 fouls to use between those two guys. And both of them, you know, add some stuff to the team here.
Edmund Green, along with Hagel, the 6th man. And there is the one bugaboo for this Lebanon team is that they have not shot the free throws great this season, 60%. That was a focal point for Spru in the preseason as Edmund Green gets a touch right away, misses, and Overball is there to put it back in.
And Overball's been a nice factor on the boards for Hempfield. He's been keeping balls alive, and that time he finished down there.
8-5 Lebanon. Matthew, pull-up jumper, Overball with a hand up, altered that, got the rebound. Hilton's got a 2-on-2. He's going to go all the way to the bucket, lay it up. No, Matthew the rebound again. There's that athleticism by Matthew.
Yeah, that was a great play by Matthews, but Hilton took a nice drive. It was a tough shot. He can make that. Ferreira,
pull-up, kept it all the way and scores.
And that's his medium game that we talk about. Very good off the dribble.
10-5 Lebanon here in the early going. Pull up by Pena, down.
You can't let him walk into the shot like that, especially a nice ball pick by Damon Green. Collins was thinking about going underneath. He's not going to be able to go underneath that.
1:36 to go. Collins through traffic, lays it up. The basket counts and a foul for Luke Collins. Boy, he is off to a fiery start with 8 points here in the first.
Well, when you watch Collins, he's going to shoot the 3. When he puts it on the floor, he's normally going to try to get all the way to the hole. And that time he finished with a little bit of a scoop shot.
Free throw by Collins, good. 9 of the 13 for Luke Collins. He can score in bunches. We haven't seen him do much the last couple times we've been around this Lebanon team, but his importance on the floor, handling the ball, and he's a threat anytime he touches it, and he's gotten off to a great start this afternoon.
Well, he's a great passer, and he'll take what's available.
Overball. Bumps off Rodriguez, spins, dumps it inside to Edmund Green. Edmund Green with great position by Rodriguez. Tipped out of there by Matthew again with a great play by the sophomore.
And that's Matthews just using his quickness and athleticism to get a hand on that ball.
Collins with 58 seconds to go in the first. Edmund Green steps out on him.
Well, they got a mismatch inside.
Sure do. They go right to it. Rodriguez, the basket and the foul again.
Well, again, there's Collins recognizing that time Hempfield switched. They had Pena on the big guy. Collins flattened his dribble out, threw it inside. And Rodriguez says, I'm scoring on this one.
It's already the 5th foul on Hempfield here in the first quarter. And Rodriguez is good on his attempt. He's got 5 early on.
Now Lebanon's coming out in a full court trap. Let's see if Hempfield can break this and get an easy bucket.
Edmund Green travels.
Okay, press work.
Well, their defense was a major problem against Warwick the first time they met. They put that 2-3 zone on in that second half and caused Warwick all kinds of problems. We saw their defense again on Thursday night in the semifinal was also a problem for Calico.
Well, that was a surprise press that time. And sometimes when you see it for the first time, especially in that situation, you're not quite ready for it. Now they're going to try to go for the last shot. They've been really good at this down the stretch here. They have 2 great guards that will try to handle it. Now Pena's going to try to face guard Collins, so Collins doesn't get the ball back.
Matthew down to 11 seconds to go here in the first.
Got to get it in Collins or Fierra's hands.
There's the buzzer beater man, Allwine. Lost the ball going out of bounds. That's going to go back to Hempfield.
Got to get it to the 2 guards at 10 seconds to go and let them do their thing.
4th turnover
now
for
Hempfield,
Lebanon.
see if Hempfield can break this in 4.3, hit it the middle and go over top.
Hester off the inbound. They go to Edmund Green. He's got to hustle to get it down the floor. He gets it there with 1 second. Got to shoot it, falling down. And he slipped. And that is how the first quarter will end. 16-8. Lebanon comes out behind Luke Collins and Isaiah Rodriguez. They blow out to a early lead here. You're watching live coverage of the boys Lancaster Lebanon League Championship game here at LLHoops.com. If you want an agent who will really listen to what you want in a home, need an agent who knows how to effectively market your home so it sells, give Sable McKinney a call. Eager to help and would love to talk to you. Contact Sable at 717-291-5600. Well, first 8 minutes, not so sure if that was really what we expected from this game. Close game is what we kind of think, but Lebanon showing a lot of poise there, and again, that firepower early in the game. They had that lull in the second half against Calico on Thursday night. If it wasn't for how hot they were in the first half, who knows if that's a different game. They're off to the same kind of start here this afternoon.
Well, the lull in the second half is because Calico went to the 3-2 half-court trap, and that took them out of their dribble drive offense and made them more of a passing team. So we'll see if Hempfield stays with their man-to-man or if they're going to come back and show a little zone, try to change the rhythm up on Lebanon, because Lebanon right now, they feel comfortable with their guards handling the ball. They feel like they're throwing the ball into Rodriguez, and he's making some things happen. So see if Lebanon, Hempfield changes some defenses here.
Hester, Pena, Hilton, Sears, check that over ball, and Edmund Green are the 5 for Hempfield. There's Hilton, pump fake, inside to Overball through the double team, and he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, Rodriguez, he just came off the opposite block to double team, and he was committed to foul.
It's on Demetrius Matthew, his first. That's a team first on Lebanon.
Okay, they called that on Matthew.
Overball's free throw attempt off the front. 46% free throw shooter on the season. We talked about Lebanon. I mean, Hempfield kind of in the same boat, 62% for the season. So both these teams among the middle of the pack as far as the LL goes in free throw shooting. Overball misses both, and Matthew the rebound. Lebanon actually, in their opening 2 games, they started before the shutdown in December. So they got a game in on opening night. And in their first 2 games against Northern Lebanon, and then when they came back against CV the second night, they were 74 free throw attempts between those 2 games for Lebanon, and they only made 42 of them. Ferreira shakes loose, foul line jumper is good.
It's his medium game. Again, the big guy came over and set a ball screen, and Hempfield sort of went behind that, was late getting there, and he pulled up and hit the shot.
10-point lead for the Cedars here with almost a minute gone in the second. Pena's jumper from the foul line is good.
Yep, and he's really good off the ball screen, too. You know, both teams are doing a great job with their guards coming off the ball screen, because neither team is doing a great job of hedging.
Ferreira with it. Now it's Matthew on the far side. Rodriguez got bumped there by Edmund Green. Matthew, shimmy, pull up from the elbow is going to rim in.
Wow. When you're a sophomore and you're taking that shot, you're ready for prime time, huh?
A month ago, Tim Spruer would not have even thought to give him that shot, but he has played so well down the stretch. Nice give to Edmund Green. Out to the corner it goes. There's Hagel for three. No. Rebound Overball. Overball steps through the defense. Isaiah Rodriguez gets a piece of that right back into the hands of Collins. Outlet pass down to Ferreira. Makes a great catch and lays it up, and he missed it.
He had to make a big recovery. The ball was just a little bit overthrown. He'll tell you he should have made that, but that wasn't as easy as it looked.
Needed the quarterback Rodriguez to throw that one. That would have been on target. Pena now Overball.
Brandon Hagel into the game, another senior for Hempfield.
Pena pull up. And Collins with the defense there, and Matthew another rebound.
Now see, this time Lebanon has been, the last couple of possessions, they've gone a 5-out curl cut offense. And that's taken Rodriguez out of the post. But what Rodriguez will do off of this is he'll float out and set a ball screen for one of his guards.
Matthew and now Rodriguez. Back up top it goes to Ferreira as we hit 5:24 to go here in the first half. 10-point lead still for Lebanon. Collins and his shot swatted out of there by Edmund Green.
Yep, and that's what Edmund Green does. Perfect timing. He leaves his man and figures that out to go over there. Nice ball pick by Edmund Green.
Great shot opportunity by Pena, but he's too strong that time. And then Edmund Green and Rodriguez get tangled up for the rebound. Foul's going to be on Edmund Green.
Okay, so now you got Hester in for Hempfield, and Sears is back in. So now Hempfield will have more of a 4-around-1 look, and they'll have 4 guys out there capable of making the 3, with Hester and Hagel in there.
Sears has the 2 fouls, remember.
And it'd be interesting to see, like, I'm surprised Lebanon's not going to go with their low post offense and try to get the 3rd foul on Sears, because he's not going to get the 3rd foul with Rodriguez standing in the corner.
Ferreira hands it off to Matthew. Now it's Allwine. Allwine's been quiet here thus far. Don't think that Hempfield didn't make it a point to shore up their defense on him, knowing how he can shoot the 3. Nice cut by Ferreira to the bucket, the foul, and another 3-point opportunity for Lebanon.
Well, it was a backdoor cut because Hilton was reading that, thinking that he was going to get a steal. And Ferreira planted his foot, went backdoor, and I'll give credit to Rodriguez to read that backdoor cut. He did a great job of reading that.
Foul was on Hagel, his first. Ferreira is a 75% free throw shooter. And they call a lane violation there. He backed off the free throw line as he shot it. I think that was on him. He sort of walked away as he was shooting, it looked like.
You're allowed to go backwards.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the call is there, but they said lane violation. Even one of the coaches was saying, you know, he was shooting down there. This afternoon's game is brought to you by Spooky Nook Basketball, the leader for all your basketball needs. Everything from tournaments, leagues, camps, and personal training. So take off the free throw there. It's 22-10. Lebanon has led for the majority of this game. And timeout called there by Hempfield, so they'll have it was a 60-second timeout by the Knights.
I mean, right now, it's the Lebanon defense is creating some problems for Hempfield. They're not forcing them to turn it over, but they're increasing the degree of difficulty of the Hempfield shots. Okay, like their shots inside the three-point line are all contested. Let's see if Hempfield can break this and get a layup.
Matthew trailing the play, gets up to Hagel, but they somehow find the open man. On the trail, it was Hilton's 3 off the mark, and Matthew the rebound again. He is just we remarked about how he played so well in JV games that we saw this year, and then all of a sudden it was like, bang, he's a varsity contributor.
When I saw him on JVs, I'm thinking, man, their varsity must be really good if this guy's playing JVs.
Sophomore's got it in his hands now. Collins, Rodriguez, as we're down to 3:55 to go in the half. Ferreira now with Allwine up top.
It's an interesting strategy with Sears having 2 fouls of keeping a 5 open offense. But, you know, Coach Brew loves his guards, the way they play in the open floor.
Good ball movement here by Lebanon, down to 3.5 to go in the half. They got a 12-point advantage right now on Hempfield. Ferreira hands off from Rodriguez. Those two connected so well in the summertime. They got together every other day to throw during the offseason leading up to the football season. Rodriguez had another strong season at quarterback for the Lebanon Cedars. He's going to go to Wilkes. Next level is Allwine's three is off the mark. Over the top goes Rodriguez, and he's called for the foul.
Good box out that time by Sears. Big time box out.
Sears out, Edmund Green back in.
Yeah, they're just going to try to keep Sears with only getting 2 fouls. They don't want to take a chance of him getting his third. Because Edmund Green only has 1, so they're in good shape there. It's going to be the ball screen again. Collins goes over it.
Hester's three. Allwine all over him. Tipped by Rodriguez, and then he's able to corral the rebound, hand it off to Collins. Collins across half court, down to 2:40 to go in the half. 12-point lead for Lebanon. As Rodriguez drives, get right through 2 defenders, and that's going to roll in.
Well, you lunged on defense and gave him an opening to go there, and he's just so big, he was able to get in there and finish it off.
7 for Isaiah Rodriguez. Pena. Edmund Green has it at the elbow. Back out to Pena where they reset. Quick stop start. Pena tied up. Good defense by Collins. Now Hagel. Hagel bumps off of Matthew deep.
Tough shot by Hagel, yep. And see, he's pretty skilled. He can score around the basket. He can hit the three, so that's a good boost for Hempfield to get him going.
Overball set to check back in for Hempfield as we're under 2 to go in the half. 24-12. Collins and Pena, there's great matchups we said all over the place. Here's another good one with Matthew and Hester as Matthew, tough angle, no. Reached out there to get the rebound, Rodriguez, now Allwine and Collins.
Good defense by Hester that time to not foul him and make him hit a tough shot.
Ferreira, down to 90 seconds to go in the half. And a timeout called by Tim Sferru. It's a 30-second timeout called by the Cedars head coach. Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Lancaster Lebanon League and its championship events. To learn more about Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster, visit fixbones.com. Manheim Township High School, the end of the season here. The tournament, we weren't sure we were even going to get to this point about 6 months ago, but here we are. And, you know, interesting for Lebanon, too, is all these teams that had issues in the offseason, Lebanon did not have. We mentioned they started on time. They played a game the first night of the season in December. They didn't have a practice. They didn't have anybody miss any time, significant time. Anyway, Rodriguez didn't play in the opener, but they were able to practice full time. They were able to get a game in and then able to start right away after the shutdown was over. So they haven't missed a beat at all this season.
And here's Hempfield in the half-court trap to try to, you know, get Lebanon off the.
Edmund Green with the recovery. What a save by Matthew.
See, that's what Edmund Green does back there. He's a rim protector, and he made another block.
Hagel the other way. Matthew.
Good job by Danny switching defenses that time to get that.
Hilton freed himself up from Matthew, and Matthew scrumming with overball for the rebound. It goes out to the corner, and Hagel has it.
Good also by Hagel. Good find.
Overball on the drive. Hilton up top. Down to 52 seconds to go. Edmund Green tried to go underneath. Now found a great cutting Hagel on a great play, and Allwine the rebound.
All right, let's see what Lebanon does against this half-court trap. And this is what they faced the other night.
Collins over to Ferreira with 33 seconds to go in the half. Lebanon can hold for the final shot. They got a 12-point lead. Tipped, Hilton into the backcourt. We got a foul.
Yep, and that's what I was talking about the other night with, you know, the Lebanon guards are going to have trouble throwing over a good trap, okay? So they're going to have to get rid of it early or go under it or split the trap. If they could split the trap with the dribble, they would have some business down there. Keep the ball low and split it.
Now Hempfield can hold for the final shot. 20 seconds to go. Pena, and he will do just that. Let that time wear off. Nobody comes out to challenge him and start the 5-second. And now Pena will put it on the floor with 7 seconds to go. Pena. Good recovery by Collins there. Pena catch and shoot at the buzzer off the back iron And that is how the first half will end. Boy, Lebanon holds Hempfield to just 4 points in the second quarter. They only scored 8 on their own, but they have a 24-12 lead here at the half. This afternoon's game is brought to you by Hearts Physical Therapy. Hearts Physical Therapy is a locally owned independent outpatient physical therapy clinic with 5 convenient locations in Lancaster County. They specialize in orthopedic rehabilitation, aquatic therapy, post-surgery, sports injuries, and vestibular therapy. Unparalleled patient outcomes and an average net promoter score of 95 reflect their unwavering commitment to their patients. It's your choice where to go for physical therapy. Experience the difference Hearts Physical Therapy can make in your recovery. What adjustments are you going to make if you're Hempfield here coming up on the break?
The last 2 possessions, Hempfield got a block shot, a tough shot by Lebanon. They got a block on that, and they got a turnover. So I think Danny's going to stay with the 3-2 trap. He'll take it off every now and then, but he's going to hope that gets him back in the game.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we hope to talk to Manheim Township head coach Matt Johns. He'll be our halftime guest, and we'll get some analysis from him and also break down the second half and get you started for that second half. Lebanon by 12 here. Halftime here at Manheim Township High School. We're joined by the host of this, Matt Johns, the head coach of the Manheim Township Blue Streaks. Thanks for coming over here for a couple minutes.
Hey, thanks for having me. Always willing to talk some basketball.
We'll talk a little bit about your squad and what they got coming up here in a moment. I want to get your thoughts in the first half. Lebanon, a 12-point lead, and you were just saying to me off mic there, Hempfield, one of the adjustments that they're going to need to make, they got to get some guards, some shots here. Ryan Hilton's been kind of quiet. First half, only 3 points, and Pena's got 5, but, man, Rodriguez, Collins, Ferreira, the big three for Lebanon doing their work in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, so far the big three for Lebanon has been scoring. They've been penetrating. They've been creating problems for Hempfield. And Hempfield's big three, they're getting some shots right now. They're just not going in. I mean, for them to get back into this second half on the perimeter, Hilton, Pena, and even Hester can knock down threes from the outside. They're just going to have to see the ball go through the hoop.
You've obviously coached in this game, and you did it on your home floor a couple years ago, which was kind of a crazy situation. But we saw early in that first quarter, these two kind of feel each other out. They hit some threes early on, and then there was a little bit of some nervy basketball there. I mean, how tough is it to get focused? These two were supposed to play a couple weeks ago. Lebanon didn't get a chance to play Hempfield. I don't think they got a chance to play McCaskey. They played you in a crossover, but talk a little bit about, from a coaching standpoint, just what the start of this game is like and just kind of getting everybody settled down, and it's really your first taste of true playoff basketball with a championship on the line.
Yeah, even though there's not 2,000 people in this gym like there normally would be for a championship game, you just never know who's going to handle that moment and who's going to get too excited for that moment, and they're going to allow that adrenaline to use them instead of use that adrenaline. I think you saw a bit of that in the first quarter. You saw some mistakes that were made that were kind of uncommon for both of these teams early, and sometimes it's from just not handling that adrenaline well. If I'm Coach Walk right now and I'm at the halftime, I'm saying that's about as poor as we can play. Our energy was good, but we didn't play well, and we're only down 12 right now, guys. If I'm Coach Spearwall, I'm saying, hey, that's a good half. We just need to keep doing what we're doing, get ready for whatever push that they're going to give us. But, hey, I would rather be up 12 at halftime than down 12.
When you saw this Lebanon team earlier in the season, at that point, what was your thought of them? Did you think that they had this? Now, this is something that I've kind of been thinking that this has been brewing for a little bit. I saw a lot of these guys as freshmen, and, 4 overtime game against Cedar Crest that I keep referencing, and how they just kept slugging it out and young guys making big plays. But what was your thought when you saw them early? You see Hempfield twice anyway,
right?
But what was your thought when you saw Lebanon earlier in the season?
I felt like we matched up well with them. I think it was like a 55-45 game in our favor when we played them. They're similar to us in that they have good guard play, they have good big play. I don't think either one of us was very deep. So, Lebanon's really counting on 6.5 players right now. That was similar to us. But they have a really complete team. They have attacking guards that can shoot. They're, combo guards. They have a slasher, whether it's 0 or 40 that are in the game. They have, number 45 is an excellent defender and a glue guy. And then they have a big. Hempfield's a little bit, is similar to that in that they have 3 perimeter players. I don't think they could get quite as much out of the post, but when Davon Green comes off the bench, they get more post scoring, and Cole Overball brings some stuff from the inside too.
Let's get down to your business here, because you guys are in the District 3 field, and I'll tell you what, 2-3 weeks ago, that was maybe not going to be the case. You guys made a great late season push to get there. I know you wanted to play in this tournament and get a chance to win another title on your home court, but you're going to be in the district field. You've actually improved your standings, I think, by 7 or 8 slots in the last 2-3 weeks of the season. So you guys did your work. This is a ridiculously loaded field this season, though. And with only one team going, that really, really magnifies the importance of winning this tournament this year.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of separation if you look at who the teams are in the district bracket right now, because most of us have only played somewhere between 14 to 16 games. That's 3/4 to half to 3/4 of a normal season. So you don't have the same type of separation in those power points that you normally do. And so, this is a year where you pretty much had to be maybe 10-3, 11-3, or you might get in at 10-4. Whereas before, we've gotten in at 12-9. We've gotten in with a good record against stiff competition, but you had to have a really successful record. And we couldn't as a staff be proud of our kids. I mean, we won our last 8 to qualify.
All right. Good luck to you, sir. We really
that.
appreciate everything you do for us during the season. Great host here this afternoon, and enjoy the second half.
Hey, anything that we can do as a district or I can do to help LLHoops.com, but also LL Basketball, I'm willing to do.
Really appreciate that. Matt John's the head coach of Manheim Township. Good luck to the Blue Streaks in the upcoming district tournament. And we'll see what they can do, what kind of damage they can do as we start the second half here. It's Collins and Lebanon with it. They have a 12-point lead here on Hempfield. And Collins has it poked away by Pena to start things here. Warren Goodling rejoins me here for the start of the second half as Allwine, quiet in the first half, drives, trying to get it going here early on and overball the rebound. Up ahead to Hilton. Hilton trying to run past Ferreira, and he does.
And this is what we talked about. Hempfield needs to get a couple easy buckets to get their offensive confidence going. And right there was a good start for them.
Hilton, who had the monster game against McCaskey, and then he was solid against Catholic in the semifinal. He's labeled as a guy that's a stat stuffer. We'll see if he picks it up here in the second half. Ferreira with it. Smith, open three, no, and the rebound, one-handed by Pena.
Yeah. And there's two great defensive possessions by Hempfield. And they're right back in the ball game if Hester finds a way to score in this one.
Head fake
and
reverse
he does,
flip, and he's fouled.
That's what I'm talking about, see, right there.
You see Hempfield already off the jump, only a minute into this third. A lot more intensity in what they played with in that first half.
Well, it starts on this end, and that starts with Ryan Hilton pressuring the ball and Pena pressuring the ball. And that time, Lebanon had a pick and roll. They had their big guy wide open on the roll, and he missed the shot.
Hester missed the free throw, but Sears the rebound and stick back.
Right back in the game.
All of a sudden, it's a 6-point spurt for Hempfield. It's 24-18. Collins trying to slow that momentum. Start, stop, pull up jumper short, own rebound through traffic. Nice reverse layup by Collins, and he scores.
Well, he throws that basket up with sauce sometimes. He missed a little chippy on the first one, but boy, that second one made up for it.
See if that slows the Hempfield momentum just slightly as Hilton, his pull-up, tough angle. Sears again the board, spins on Matthew and puts it back in again.
And now you see Sears, who's a 3-year veteran, stepping up.
26-20 with 6:10 to go in the third. This is what we thought we were going to see from the outset. Lebanon played so well in that first half. Hempfield now starting to show signs of life as Rodriguez drives, but there's a foul underneath, and that's going to be on Overball. It's the first on Hempfield here in the second half. That's going to be the first on Overball for the game. Starting fives, -1 for Lebanon. It's Matthew in place of Smith on the floor right now for the Cedars, but Hempfield with their regular 5 out there, including Sears, who has 2 fouls. Matthew has it now with 5:47 to play in the third.
Again, Lebanon's going with the 5-out offense, looking to get dribble drive from one of their guards with Rodriguez on the perimeter.
Allwine up top. Matthew, they get it to Ferrara, top of the circle. 5:21 to go here in the third. Allwine held without a field goal in the first half after a big night on Thursday in the semifinals. He said his role is 3 and D. He has not had a chance to really do much damage from 3 here thus far. Collins, he's had a chance, and he hits another one.
Well, the pick and roll forced Rodriguez. Rodriguez was open, so Collins' man had to help a little bit on the post and gave him enough room to hit the 3.
Nestor Pena.
Now here's
4:45.
Hempfield's version of the pick and roll. And good job by Collins to go over top of that time.
Sears back to Pena now. They'll reset things with 4:30 to go in the third. 29-20 is Lebanon in front, but there is some firepower starting up here for Hempfield as Overball is going to bank that one in.
Oh, over his shoulder. That's a great shot by Cole Overball. Nice pass inside by Hilton. Here comes the half-court trap.
Rodriguez, and he was almost lost it there. Hilton stuck that hand in there to tip that away. All-line quick pass to Rodriguez. Rodriguez, nice pass underneath to Matthew. He had the open shot, but he kicks it out to Ferreira for 3. No, and Rodriguez, the rebound, waits, fouled, and he's going to go to the line for 2 more. Boy, Matthew had the open look if he just would have turned around, but he kicked it out instead.
Well, he deferred that time to the upperclassmen, but
Rodriguez, 44% on the season.
see, unless Lebanon can score some easy buckets against this half-court trap, they're going to get a big dose of that down the stretch here. So they're going to have, and that makes them a little more tentative offense. So they have to find a way to score.
2 for 2 for the big guy. 3:50 to go in the third. It's 31-22 Lebanon. Pena. Allwine steps out on him, sticks that hand out there right in his face. Freed up. Pena the 3.
Now see, Pena, what he did is he had a mismatch. He had the forward on him, and he went back the other way and lulled him to sleep and pulled the 3.
31-25. Hempfield keeps picking away at that lead. Allwine. The recovery on defense that time by Pena to move over there with Hester. Rodriguez back to Collins. We approach 3 minutes to go in the third. Rodriguez through 3 guys, lays it in. It was halfway down.
Just missed that one.
And Hester gets the board.
And now, again, a good possession by Hempfield. They forced the miss, got the rebound.
Pena pull up on the way. Rodriguez the rebound.
Okay, they're doing a big dose of Pena coming off ball screens, which is a great move by Coach Walk. Because he had a pretty good look that time.
Allwine. Tip by Overball. Collins going to have to let that go. It's going to stay on the Lebanon side.
And see, this is really giving them trouble, just like the other night. Now, this is a bigger court than their home court at Lebanon. It's a little bit longer, and they need to spread them out and attack it.
Yeah, you talked about that off air on Thursday night about the dimensions of that court at Lebanon. It's only 84 feet.
Yeah, and
Allwine's going to throw that one away.
And this has really got Lebanon concerned right now.
Timeout called by Danny Walk and Hempfield. It's going to be a full timeout with 2:20 to go here in the third quarter. It's a 6-point lead for the Cedars. With over 60 years of service and serving Lebanon, Lancaster, Berks, and Dauphin counties, you can count on the attorneys of Busgum Davis Law Offices. Lebanon's most experienced legal team can help you in all areas of the law, including personal injury, family law, commercial and business representation, estate planning and administration, and simple or complex real estate transactions. That's Busgum Law Offices. Busgum Davis Law Offices. This afternoon's game is also brought to you by H&L Team Sales. H&L Team Sales provides uniforms, team shops, and other clothing equipment to schools and teams throughout the LL, York, and Berks regions. Contact H&L at 717-392-3010 or online at hlteamsales.com. 2:20 to go here in the third, and it's a 6-point lead for Lebanon as they try to hang on here. We're, again, seeing a lot more firepower and a lot more execution here by Hempfield to start things here in the second half.
Well, you know, Hempfield has gone to the half-court trap. That's given their team, they're very confident in it because Danny does it all through his program, and it creates energy for Hempfield. And Lebanon's going to need to score against it or they're going to have trouble with it the rest of this game.
Hempfield ball off the timeout. Pena, Overball, Sears, Hilton, and Hester. Hester through traffic gets it to bank in.
And there's your sophomore showing you that he's more than a three-point shooter.
Cuts the lead all the way down to 4. This was 12 at numerous times in the first half. Ferreira, Matthew, head fake, back up top to Collins. Hempfield defense doing a really nice job, not only with the longer players up front, but they're also getting back, they're reacting quicker on defense this half, too.
Like I said, they're well-schooled in this, and it's taken the Lebanon guards. They're just out there passing. They're not, and here's some penetration there.
Ferreira's going to kick it to Matthew. Open 3 for the sophomore. No, rebound loose. It is picked up somehow by Alex Roof. And a timeout called by Tim Sparrow, a 30-second timeout called by Sparrow with 1:25 to go in the third quarter. This afternoon's game is brought to you by Dan Taylor Family Law. Is your will, durable power of attorney, and living will up to date? If not, you should see LLHoops.com sponsor Daniel K. Taylor. Dan can be reached at 717-945-6212 or see his ad on our website. He can initially speak to you over the phone or meet in his Lancaster office. Home appointments are available for the disabled. So 30-second timeout here by the Cedars. Hempfield no changes as they come back out from their huddle.
No, and they're gonna live with Matthew shooting threes, against as their best as Lebanon's best shot. If that's the case, that favors that. Not that he can't make one, but that keeps the ball out of their guards' hands and out of Rodriguez's hands.
Have not made a three this season is Matthew, sophomore. So you're right about that. They'll live with him out there in the corner. He's camped out on the far side now as Rodriguez hands off to Collins.
Let's see. Now it's a change of pace by Hempfield. They're going back to man, just to give them a little something different, and then they'll see how this goes, and then they'll get back into the zone if they have to.
Roof. Now Collins inside, it goes to Rodriguez. Rodriguez through Sears. Laid up, but he's fouled, so Rodriguez back to the line to shoot a pair. It's going to be on Daniel Sears. That's his third. That is the third on Hempfield here in the second half. Rodriguez has looked good from the line here this afternoon. That's his third consecutive free throw he's made. Actually, it's his fourth consecutive that he's made. Had the one on the three-point play, and then he's hit his last three. Second one's going to rim out. Roof the rebound, so they save the possession. Collins. Good screen by Rodriguez. Collins all the way to the bucket. That one's rejected by Hester. Loose ball saved by Roof out to the corner, and Matthew now up top to Ferreira. Steps in front as Hilton, but he tips it out of bounds.
Yeah, and Hilton's development through his career, he is an outstanding defender. He's a great scorer, but boy, he can really play defense too.
42 seconds to go in the quarter. 32-27. Hempfield has tightened this one significantly here in the third. Matthew with Roof. Roof, we didn't see much. I don't think he saw any time in the first half.
No, he's come in these games against Warwick, and he's a good defender.
Matthew kicks it out to Rodriguez. Head fake. Puts it on the floor. Bounces off Edmund Green. Edmund Green reaches out there and slaps that away. Hilton the other way. It's a 2-on-3. Hilton bumps off of Collins, and the foul called on Hilton. That's going to be his first and the fourth on Hempfield here in the second half. 9 seconds to go in the quarter. It's still a 5-point Cedars lead. Pena steps up.
Man-to-man by Hempfield here. They're going to get a ball pick out top.
Ferreira's got it with 4 seconds left. Baseline fadeaway, tough shot, tipped around. Overball's got it. Don't think he recognized how much time was left, but Hempfield does the damage in the third quarter as they wake up and cut this down to a 5-point lead. It's 32-27 with 8 minutes to go for the Lancaster Lebanon League Championship. You're watching live coverage of the LL Boys title game here at LLHoops.com. This afternoon's game is brought to you by Lewis Agency. Parents, if you have children who are driving or getting ready to drive, Lewis Agency is here to help. Call the Stephen Edward Lewis Agency in Millersville to find out how they keep your costs low and help teach your children how to drive safer with the nationwide Smart Ride program. This program includes accident forgiveness, so if your new driver does have an accident, you won't lose your insurance or suffer an expensive rate surcharge. Please contact the Stephen Edward Lewis Agency for additional information, 717-872-2466. Well, Hempfield, how about that third quarter?
Well, you have a winning tradition. Your guys are used to winning. You're not going to just roll over and die when you're down 12 at halftime, believe me. And, Coach Walke has a plan, and his kids executed it that quarter. And basically what they're doing is they're taking the guards of Lebanon out of the game by making them be passers out at the top against that half-court trap, because you don't see their dribble drive skills when they're going against that half-court trap. And Hester's had a nice third quarter offensively, huh?
Really has. Danny Walk with stops at Reading, Lancaster Catholic, Warwick. As Hilton pull up to start the fourth is no good, but overball the rebound out to Pena. He is wide open for three, and he knocks it down.
And that is a great play by Overball, getting the offensive rebound, and one of the best plays you can get on an offensive rebound is kick it out to the three when you don't have a point bank layup.
Down to two, and over and back goes Ferreira, so it's back to Hempfield with 7:33 to play. Boy, this momentum has just totally swung in Hempfield's favor.
And
Their body language, more confidence in their shot, everything.
They're getting their energy from the half-court trap, believe me. And it affects all phases of the game when you feel that energy pick up.
Pena, they can take the lead on this possession. They have not led since 3-0 to start this game. Then Lebanon went on a quick 6-0 run, and they took off from that point through the rest of the first half. Screen by Edmund Green, Pena. Cut to Hilton for the tie, off the window, but he'll shoot two.
Yeah, and there's the two guards being connected right there with Pena, the sophomore, and Hilton going backdoor, the senior, just finding him on the backdoor cut. And that's the two guards learning how to play with each other.
Second foul on Rodriguez. Second team foul, Lebanon as well. Hilton's free throw attempt pulls his team within one, and one more here to try to tie it. Hilton's second. He's a 65% free throw shooter, and we're tied at 32. 7 minutes to go for the LL title. It is Lebanon and Hempfield tied at 32 here from Manheim Township High School. Ferreira has it for the Cedars. Collins and Ferreira pitch and catch. Skip pass across to Allwine. Now Collins, roof was open. Nobody even stepped out on him. Now Ferreira in the corner for three. A lot of contact. He's fouled. It's a late call on Edmund Green. And Ferreira's going to shoot three with 6:37 to play. Fifth foul on Hempfield here in the second half. It's the second on Edmund Green. Ferreira, a 75% free throw shooter, gives Lebanon the lead right back. Ferreira, Roof, Collins, Rodriguez, and Allwine for the Cedars. Ferreira 2 for 2 on this trip. Gets one more. He's got 8 here on the afternoon. And make it a perfect 3 for 3 that trip.
Okay, now we got Lebanon in a little bit of a half-court trap, three-quarter court trap. See if Hempfield can get an easy bucket off of this. Now they're back in the 2-3 zone. So now Hempfield gets to operate on their zone offense.
Pena with 6:13 to play. Hilton pull-up jumper got past Collins, missed everything, and it's out of bounds back to the Cedars. Hilton's got 7, and they have harassed him enough on defense to sort of take him off his shot here, at least to this point.
And it hasn't been a high possession game because, you know, Lebanon's been having long possessions, so you don't get as many opportunities.
Rodriguez, he was fouled. 16 foul on Hempfield. Next one they will shoot. Foul is going to be on Hilton. That's his second.
Let's see what Hempfield does now. If they're going to stay in their trap or they're going to go man. And they're going to go man, so now we'll see Lebanon, run their dribble drive offense. They got Rodriguez down low, so it's 4-round-1.
Collins to the bucket, got it out to Roof. Cutter is Ferreira. He gets it inside the foul line.
Yeah, good D by Hilton that time.
And Roof will reset things here as he hands it off to his running mate Collins with 5:30 to play for the title. A lot of bumping there with Rodriguez and Edmund Green as Collins out to Roof. Roof, steady hand, he won't shoot much. Now Ferreira And that one's stolen away by Hilton, who lost the ball. Collins dives for it, saves it on his side of the floor to Pena now. And Pena out of traffic, they're going to call the foul on Collins.
Well, that was a scramble, huh?
Collins wanted the jump ball. He might have a case there.
No, just good defense that time.
They hit Rodriguez with that foul, so that's his third.
See if Lebanon's going to be in their zone now. They're going to be in the zone, and they're going to probably stay with it until Hempfield scores.
Into Overball out to Pena. 5 minutes to go for the LL title. Hagel for three, no. Rebound tipped by Overball into his hands, back out to Hilton. Hilton drives.
Great rebound by Overball that time.
Now
really
Pena,
got upstairs.
three-pointer, no. Rebounds. Edmund Green lost it and falling to the floor as he is fouled. Gets it out to the corner, and that is going to be foul number 4 on Lebanon here in the half, but more importantly, that foul is going to be on Collins, his second. So the fouls now, 3 for Rodriguez, 2 for Collins for Lebanon. Nobody else really in any trouble. Hagel gets it back from Edmund Green. Now it's Hilton up top, Pena over on the far side.
Yep, and Coach Tim's going to stay in this until the Hempfield scores.
Pena freed himself up, three-pointer, clangs off the back iron, rebound, tip to Collins. Lebanon maintains the three-point lead with 4:22 to play. Ferreira fake, now he gets it to Allwine. Allwine, a runner from the baseline, traveled. Allwine, we talked about Hilton and the issues that the defense from Lebanon's caused him. Allwine has been very silent here this afternoon.
Yeah, well, they haven't left him. They haven't given it, they saw the scouting report.
A foul on Collins.
Yep, and he's got to keep his composure right now. He's getting a high ball screen out there.
5th foul on Lebanon and the 3rd on Collins, so he and Rodriguez each with 3 now as Hilton has it. Hilton through the lane, and we're going to get a foul before the shot. It's going to be on Ferreira. It's becoming a foul fest here on this side of the floor now.
I think he put it on the floor. So now Hempfield are running out of bounds plays.
Team 6 first
against
up
the zone.
Hagel inbound to Edmund Green. Gets it back. Hagel left wide open for 2, and he got it.
Yep. He threw the ball in, stepped in bounds. Nice pass by Edmund Green. And again, Lebanon has not solved this half-court trap.
1-point lead for Lebanon with 3:40 to play. Rodriguez. Pass underneath to Allwine, waits, and Edmund Green's guilty of the foul.
Now, see, that's what Lebanon has to do. They have to attack it and get in some scoring situations down here.
It's the 3rd foul on Edmund Green, so the 2 bigs for Hempfield, Sears and Edmund Green each with 3.
But they got 4 to give as a team. They got 4 more, or 3 to give, but to keep a big guy in the ball game.
1-1 now for Lebanon the rest of the way. At least 1 shot the rest of the way as Allwine clangs that one. Second one upcoming for Allwine. 77% on the season. And second one is also no good. Roof tips it back out, and it's stolen away by Hilton. Hilton with a 1-on-3, shoves into Collins, and they're going to get Collins for the foul. The 4th on Luke Collins, and the 7th on Lebanon. Collins is a little irate. He's been kind of talking to the officials a little bit after the last couple of fouls.
That time Hilton was going to be determined to go to the basket, and, he made such a strong move to get there.
Collins talking to the official.
Yeah,
right now,
and that's a tough one in Collins' situation because he's trying to get back to establish the position.
Hilton's first, in and out. Good exchange there by Collins and the official. They both pat each other on the back. A lot of emotion spilling over here in the second half. Hilton's second one is no good. An 0 for trip, still a 1-point lead for Lebanon as we hit 3:23 to play. Roof pinned up on that sideline. Dribbles past Hagel, now pulls it back. Pena meets him. Loose ball on the floor, picked up by Pena. Pena somehow stayed in bounds, throws it over to Hagel to keep it alive. Hagel. Hilton as we approach 3:05.
Pena's wide open over there if they find him.
Hilton cuts through, floater with the right hand, no, and the rebound Rodriguez.
Again, half-court trap.
Roof right by Edmund Green, who concedes it, lobs it over to Allwine. Allwine to Rodriguez. Not going after Edmund Green, who's got the 3 fouls.
Well, he saw some help coming in there.
Roof now back to Rodriguez, bumps into his man, and a charge called on Rodriguez, and that is going to be the 4th on Isaiah Rodriguez. 8th team foul on Lebanon, so.
Well, Hagel got the position, moved up into it, and Rodriguez banged into him. And you know, the question you're going to say is, was Hagel established? Well, he got the calls. That's all that matters for the Black Knights.
Pena with a chance for Hempfield to take the lead again. 2:25 to play. Pena. Hagel. Pena now back to Hagel. Screen by Evan Green. He doesn't use it. Hagel pull-up jumper, rolls around the rim and out into the hands of Rodriguez.
See, right now with Lebanon, you have a couple guys. Well, a lot of the guys are a little tentative.
Rodriguez to the bucket. Foul by Edmund Green. Edmund Green's 4th, 8th on Hempfield. 2 shots for Rodriguez upcoming.
Well, there's a guy not being tentative that time, huh? Got the ball and said, I got to go score.
So Rodriguez, chance to extend this lead to at least 3, or at most 3. And he missed the first. It's a 2-shot foul since he was in the act of shooting. Second one is going to rim in.
It rimmed it in with a soft touch. So let's see what Lebanon's doing right now. They're playing in a 2-3 zone. They have some foul trouble they got to deal with, so they're in the zone, and they get the dose of the ball pick out top.
Pena, Hagel, Edmund Green back to Pena with 1:50 to go for the LL title. It's a 2-point lead for Lebanon. Pena, skip pass across to Hagel. Fake on the 3, was going to pull the trigger again. Pena wide open for the lead. Off the side, and we get a foul underneath. This might be on Collins, and if it is his 4th. Actually, it's his 5th if it's on Collins, and he is done. So Luke Collins fouls out with 14 points. 19th foul on Lebanon. Going to be without their starting point guard the rest of the way. Well, Matthew, Rodriguez, Ferreira, and Allwine, along with Roof for the Cedars.
Yeah, and that's huge. That really that will affect Lebanon.
Hagel's first is good.
And see, Hagel started that play by throwing the skip pass over on the shot, and then he followed the skip pass and got the offense, was going for an offensive rebound and got boxed out.
For the tie. Hagel 68 on the season percent, and he ties it up.
A lot of poise there.
36-36 with $1:34 to go. This was a runaway for Lebanon in the first half. It's turned into a thriller here in the second half. Ferreira. Allwine. Good step-through move by Allwine all the way over to the other side to Matthew in the Roof. Back to Matthew.
Other than Ferreira and Rodriguez, who's going to take the shot?
There is Rodriguez.
And there he took a heck of a shot. There is what I call a shot.
13.
And here comes Hempfield running the fast break.
Yep, over ball the other way. It's Edmund Green at the foul line. Hagel pull up 3 for the lead. No. And the rebound fought for as Edmund Green caught it, threw it as he was going out of bounds, and it's back to Lebanon with 58 seconds to go.
Well, unbelievable game, huh? And now we got a long way to go here because, you know, Lebanon has to deal with this half-court trap like we've been saying all second half.
Ferreira now, Rodriguez again. Rodriguez goes through the defense again at the bucket. He lays it up and in.
They solved it the last 2 possessions by letting the big guy attack the basket.
4-point lead for Lebanon with 35 seconds to go.
Plenty of time for Hempfield. Just get on the board.
Hilton drives, a lot of contact. He throws it up the basket and the foul. With 30 seconds to go, Ryan Hilton a chance for a 3-point play to cut this down to 1. Sears is back in for Hempfield.
And that's 5 for Rodriguez.
On Rodriguez. So Rodriguez and Collins are both out for Lebanon, and Rodriguez was the offense the last couple of trips down the floor.
Yeah. So now the question will be, who are they going to put in the middle of that?
Tim Sparrow is talking to the officials, pleading his case. Going to be to no avail as they will bring in Smith. Tim Sparrow is going to call a timeout here with 30 seconds to go, and his team up by 2. Can cut this to 1 here with the free throw. Tonight's game brought to you by the law office of Stephen W. Grosh with courtroom experience and advocacy matters. We stand by you in your time of need, proudly serving Lancaster County for 15 years. Game reset, 30 seconds to go here from Manheim Township High School. It's a 2-point lead for Lebanon as they are trying to hang on here without Luke Collins, without Isaiah Rodriguez. And we got a chance here for Hempfield to cut this down to 1 with a free throw to go here. This was a 12-point lead for Lebanon at the half. They controlled the first half. You just sensed that defensive intensity stepped up for Hempfield. There was a little more pep in their step when the third quarter started, and now we got a 2-point ball game.
It was all about the 3-2 trap at half court for Hempfield. They do it all through their program. Their kids are very comfortable in it, and they almost do it every game. You're going to see it every game, and they're very good at it. And it's really taken Lebanon out of the rhythm, other than the last 2 possessions where Rodriguez got it and went down the gut. But he's not in there now, and neither is Collins. So now Hempfield, they make this foul shot, they'll probably be in a full court press, dropping back their half-court trap.
Look at what's on the floor here for Lebanon. Smith and Allwine have not scored this afternoon. Ferreira's got 6. Roof has not scored. Matthews got a bucket. Hilton to bring it within 1. And he does. 40-39 with 26 seconds left. Down the floor as Hagel tipped that, and it's out of bounds, but it'll stay with Lebanon.
So now you're in a situation with 23 seconds to go. Lebanon is going to play keep away now. They don't have to score, but they're going to get fouled, and they have to not turn it over.
Arrow favors Lebanon as well.
And they'll take a layup if they have it. And who's ever in the middle has got to get real big and come meet the ball for Lebanon.
Ferreira trying to go by Pena. He's cut off by Hagel. He throws it right into Overball's hands, but we got a foul on Hempfield as Ferreira hits the deck with 13 seconds to play.
I think he'll have 2 shots.
Still going to be just 1-1. That's the 9th, or that is the 9th on
Yeah, you're
Hempfield.
right. That's the 9th. So it's a 1-on-1. These are pressure shots.
75%. Ferreira's hit 3 free throws here this afternoon. With an inadvertent whistle or horn over in the scorer's table.
So now is Lebanon, what are they going to do on defense? Man-to-man, 2-3 zone? If he misses this, they got a defensive possession right away.
Ferreira's first is good.
It's a big shot. Danny's taking a timeout. He's going to put Hester in his 3-point shooter.
Danny Walker is going to call a timeout. This afternoon's game is brought to you by Sable McKinney with KW Elite Real Estate. Want an agent who will really listen to what you want in a home? Need an agent who knows how to effectively market your home so it sells? Give Sable McKinney a call. She's eager to help. We'd love to talk to you. Contact Sable directly at 717-291-5600. The finale of the LL season here this afternoon. It's 41-39, Lebanon with 13.5 seconds left. Both these teams will head off to the District 3 6A tournament starting on Tuesday night. Top 4 seeds in that will get byes. Top 3 right now are Reading, Wilson, and Central Dauphin. And there could be some jockeying here this afternoon as Central Dauphin plays Central York, who's also a qualifier. So maybe, if anything, as you heard Matt Johns in our halftime show, I think that might help Cumberland Valley, if anything. if Central Dauphin wins that game. So I don't expect much to change as far as the power ratings go, but both these teams are pretty secure in their spots. Right now, Lebanon's the 7th seed, Hempfield the 10th. Eulenberg has moved up to the 4 seed, so top 4 will get buys. The higher seed will host throughout the whole tournament. Ferreira has a chance here, and he misses the second.
A 3 can win it, a 2 ties it.
Yep, Pena has it.
And Lebanon's going man-to-man.
Pena with 6
Comes
seconds
off the ball
left.
screen. Here comes Hilton. He's going to go to turn the corner.
Hilton will go to the bucket. He is stripped, and we get a foul on Lebanon. So it's going to be on Smith with 1.6 seconds left. That is the 10th team foul on the Cedars, and that's going to send Hilton back to the free throw line with a chance to tie this with 1.6 to go. Who else would you want the ball in the hands of if you're Hempfield?
Oh, no, they did the right thing.
First one by Hilton is good. Tim Spiro is going to call a timeout, try to freeze the shooter. 1-point lead with 1.6 seconds to go. Should Lebanon hang on here, this would be their first LL title since 2004. It's their 14th appearance in the finals. They're 8-5 in the 13 previous trips. And if Hempfield is to rally in this one, they have had nearly as much history here. This is the 9th LL title game, 10th LL title game. They're 7-2 in the previous 9. And their last title came in 2011. They won back-to-back in 2011 and 2010. And then prior to that, not since 2000. So it's been what feels like a long time. It's been a long time for Hempfield, but it feels like an eternity for Lebanon as well.
Okay, so now we have 2 new players from Lebanon coming into the ball game. Okay, they're taller guys to box out. If there's a miss, Hilton makes this, we're probably going to go to overtime.
Nathaniel Diaz and Cam Uffner are on the low blocks. Hilton for the tie, and he missed it, and the rebound to Diaz with 2.2 seconds left. The horn sounds, but there's still 0.2 left. And now it's going to go to zeros, and Lebanon's won the LL championship.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Marcus Ferreira is going to be our player of the game, so we'll get him up here for the postgame. But congratulations to Lebanon. They hang on in a thriller, 41-40, as they beat Hempfield to win the LL championship. 12-point lead erased. Hempfield rallies, almost heroic rally, and then Ryan Hilton, who's been so good in this LL tournament. Monster game against McCaskey the other night. Cannot hit the second free throws.
He's been so good. He's an all-league player. Okay.
Danny Walken, Tim Spiro with a nice exchange there midcourt. Lebanon's going to get their championship trophy, and the Cedars will go to 17-3 as they win the LL championship. Section 2 claims the crown here this afternoon in a thriller. Second all-time to McCaskey in terms of titles. They were already in that position before this started.
Yeah, it was just an unbelievable game, and you know, the fight that Hempfield had when they were down at halftime. But, you know, this wasn't a pretty game for Lebanon. In the first quarter, we said, wow. But then Hempfield took Lebanon out of the game, but they had the guts and the determination. They had other guys step up when their 2 starters got in foul trouble. They had other guys that had to play the last minute or 2 to help them win the championship.
First Section 2 title since 2018. If you pay attention to those kind of things, and I know a lot of people down in these parts do. 41-39 is going to rank also among one of the lowest scoring title games of all time.
Yeah, but it was a lot of action and a lot of energy being used on the defensive end, and that's why it was a low-scoring game, because it was a chess match between the 2 teams.
It's the 4th lowest scoring final in LL history at 80 points combined.
And I can tell you, both of these teams are loaded with underclassmen, strong programs below them. Both coaches do a great job. They will be back.
81 points, so it's still going to be the 4th lowest scoring LL final of all time at 81 total. Look at the final scoring numbers here. Rodriguez and Collins both fouled out for Lebanon, and somehow they were able to persevere with those 2 starters on the bench. They did not get points from Kevin Smith or Alex Roof, who played critical minutes. And they will get the trophy here this afternoon, as what we're going to do here is they get the awards and the trophy and do everything here. We're going to actually take a timeout here, and then we'll come back for the post-game show where we'll talk to Tim Sparrow and also Marquise Ferrara, our player of the game. So Lebanon wins it here this afternoon, 41-40. We'll take a timeout, come back with our post-game show. We'll talk to the winning head coach, Tim Sparrow, and our player of the game. That'll come your way next. We've been watching the Boys Lancaster Lebanon League Championship. Post-game show here at Manheim Township High School. Lebanon wins the Lancaster Lebanon League title this afternoon, 41-40 in a thriller over Hempfield. A couple of numbers to give you here. That's the fourth lowest point total in a final. It's the second fewest points ever scored by a winning team in this final. It is the 11th LL final decided by one possession. And maybe more impressively for Lebanon this season, they're 7-1 now in games decided by single digits. So that's going to really be a factor for this team going into the District 6 playoffs, because everything's going to be tight in that tournament, we think anyway.
Yeah.
And you may have to win a tight game on somebody's home floor. They've got 8 games this season that are decided by single digits, and they've won 7 of them, including a title here this afternoon.
Yeah, well, the flashbacks for me is a Lebanon 1-point win between each 2 games, Hempfield and Lebanon. I've been involved in some of those, and that's the 4th time that in these LL playoffs recently that Lebanon and Hempfield game was decided by 1 point. Unbelievable.
And remember, they were supposed to play, you said it at the start of the broadcast, they were supposed to play, 3 weeks ago, and the game postponed, so actually canceled.
Well,
we ended up getting it here today anyway.
If you start looking at the district rankings and you look at the 7-10 or the 6-11 or whatever, and you start seeing Hempfield and Lebanon sort of close, that we don't know how it'll shake out tonight, but imagine if they'd have to play again next week.
Could happen. You never know, and that's the ultimate winner go home this season, as only district champs are going to go to the state tournament. We're going to get the player of the game, Marcus Ferreira, up here along with Coach Spirou, as they're going to cut the nets down here. Over the final scoring numbers here for you in a second. This afternoon's game was brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster. Orthopedic Associates of Lancaster LTD is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Lancaster Lebanon League, and we partner to offer 2 $800 scholarships to 1 male and female high school senior in the Lancaster Lebanon school districts. The scholarship is available to any athletes and or support staff, to include but not limited to athletic training student aides, equipment managers, or team managers, with the primary focus being on service to our community. So big thanks to Ortho Associates of Lancaster. Well, look, this game was a 12-point lead for Lebanon, and a couple of nights ago, you and I saw the semifinal, and we saw Calico fight their way back in the game with some defense. Hempfield did the same thing here, but this time, you look at the whole course of the season, I just wonder how that affects this game as far as Lebanon goes. I mean, how much did they learn from that? They weren't going to let somebody come back on them a second time here, but Hempfield did, and Lebanon stood tall tonight, and they held them off.
Well, the one thing about this week is each one of these teams have played 4 games. They played Monday night, not even a playoff game, and then they played Tuesday. They didn't have any practice time.
Right.
You can't go to practice on, Friday and Wednesday and really do a whole lot of work because of the exhaust. Look at the game that everybody, Hempfield played McCaskey on Tuesday. Lebanon played Warwick on Tuesday. You're tired on Wednesday. So you got to get them in and get them out and get them some rest. I mean, your most important thing in practice on your practice plan is rest. Okay? So, Lebanon will have a day or two, well, probably maybe 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, to work against some of the things they do. But they have a great team, and they'll get ready for it.
They're going to cut the nets down here, and then we'll get Coach Spirou up here, so a little bit of an extended postgame for you here today, as again some of the historical notes. I mean, you have to go back to 1978, another game that Lebanon was involved in against Calico, a 32-20 game, to find a lower scoring. There's been a couple. Hempfield was involved in 2 of them. Lebanon was involved in now 3 of them. Ironically enough, these 2 teams involved in the 5 lowest scoring LL finals in league history, and Lebanon's won 3 of them and Hempfield's won 2.
Yeah, it's been between these 2, it's been an unbelievable series. Just a great rivalry in the Lancaster Lebanon League. I mean, Lebanon, you always think of them as a Section 1 team. Okay, that's what you think of them, and they play up to that level. And I think they are coming up in the section maybe in 2 years.
The last LL championship game to be decided by a possession, 2017, Lancaster Catholic defeated guess who? Lebanon, yeah. So there's a lot of historical things here. I mean, Lebanon's been involved in, you look over the history of it, 85 they were involved in a title game by 1 possession. 86 they were involved in a title game decided by a possession. 2017, today, Hempfield's been in a bunch of those as well. They were in one in 2000. I'm sure you remember that one pretty well against McCaskey. I mean, that's, it's just remarkable, the history of these teams. And, I'll say this too about the LL. Obviously, in terms of titles, and that seems to be how we judge who the greatest is and everything like that. We really don't look at the context of greatest anymore. But McCaskey's regarded as the gold standard of LL basketball because they have the most titles, and that's fair. And they've been arguably one of the most historic programs in state history. But when you look at what these two programs have been able to do over the course of the entire league history, too, they're right there. And they put on a great display for us here this afternoon with this. You know, some people are going to look at this and go 41-40, you know, low-scoring, you know, defensive game. No, this was a great game out here. This was
a game with high energy and great defense. And, you know, there's pressure in this game. So, you know, other than the first quarter, you saw a little bit of some pressure. There was pressure situations in this game the whole way through when we got to the second half.
Think about this, too. Lebanon loses Luke Collins, who had 14. They lose Isaiah Rodriguez, who had 15. So there's 29 of their 41 points right there that they don't have. They had on the floor to win the LL title. Kevin Smith, no points. Alex Roof, no points. Braden Allwine, no points. Nathaniel Diaz was in there for a rebound, no points. Cam Uffner out there for a rebound, no points. Demetrius Matthew, 2 points. He's a sophomore. These are guys they had to rely on down the stretch to hold this team off.
Well, when we saw Lebanon the first time, we looked at each other and said, wow, there's something special cooking here. And when you realize that the role players understand their role, and they just love their role because they know their role is very important to help the team win.
I go back to some of the things that Tim Spruce said as the coaching staff is now cutting the nets. Now we'll get the guys up here for some post-game comments here after they're done downstairs. He told Lebanon Sports Buzz, that's one of the internet sites that covers the league. Jeff Falk does a great job covering them. He's down there taking some pictures today, and he'll have a story up on Lebanon Sports Buzz later today. I'll read this quote directly from Spiru here before the season started. We want to win the section. We want to make a run in leagues. We want to make a run in districts, and we want to get to states. That's been our goals for 11 straight years. That's not changing. Then he also said in the preseason, we need a bigger buy-in right now with our kids. We have to make sure the right guys are getting the right shots and that everyone is getting playing time. Discipline is going to be a huge thing for us. Now, he also said free throws were a big deal for him, and they're not the greatest free throw shooting team. We talked about that today. But I think all those things that he mentioned in the preseason, they've now come to fruition here with this title win.
Yeah, and you know, that's something that you mentioned in the preseason, but you build on each and every day. I mean, what you do at practice every day and how you dealt with the shutdown, things like that builds into his team goals for the year.
And I think the hidden stat, as he's actually going to be the guy going up there last to cut the remaining part of the net down, think about their shutdown situation. Did not miss a practice before the shutdown. They were able to get everything in. They were able to play a game right before the shutdown started.
Friday night. I watched that game.
Friday night, yep, against Northern Lebanon.
Yes, I watched that game.
And how big is that later in the season when you look back at all these things and kind of hindsight really defines a lot of things. But when you look at everything involved in a season, how big is it this year if you didn't miss any practice time and you were able to play that first game?
Huge, because we've talked to coaches throughout the league that said, well, we missed 3 weeks, then we missed another 10 days, then we missed 7 days. We had a couple games postponed. So it's huge because they were able to go, other than the 3 weeks in December, they were able to go coast to coast.
Isaiah Rodriguez didn't play in that first game, so he missed that. He was also coming off a football season, too, in which he played a lot of minutes on the field. He's a starting quarterback for Lebanon's football team. But I just there's so many things that are going to add up to. You could make the argument that if you're like the Catholic League in Philly where they started late, maybe they're fresher. But I think this season, I think the most crucial thing you can do is you can play tight games, you can play a lot of games, and you can also get all your practice time in. And Lebanon's done all 3 of those.
Yeah, they've certainly had their share of they can thank Warwick for a lot of their tight games down the stretch here. And when they played Warwick, it was like a playoff atmosphere. Even the first game at Lebanon, the second game at Lidditz, it was like a playoff atmosphere. You could sense that type of pressure. And not to mention the game at Cedar Crest on Tuesday.
Yeah, right down to the wire. That was as Tim Spruce talking downstairs to some of the other media members, including Andy Herb. We'll get him up here in a moment. Time to look at some quick numbers here. Final scores for Hempfield as they got 11 from Pena and Hilton. Hilton missed that free throw there at the end that could have tied this thing up. 4 points for Overbaugh and Sears and 6 for Hagel off the bench. And also Edmund Green played, did not score. And really he was the only other guy that got on the floor for Hempfield here today that played significant minutes. For Lebanon, I mean, we said it, 29 points between Rodriguez and Collins. They both foul out. 15 for Rodriguez, 14 for Collins. They got 10 from Ferreira, who heated up in the second half, which was big for them. And then the rest of the scoring is 2 from Demetrius Matthew, and the rest of the guys, Smith, Roof, Uffner. Now, Uffner and Diaz were in at the very end, so really you can't say much about them not scoring, but still, they played, didn't score, and Matthew had a bucket, and that's it. I mean, all their scoring comes from basically 3 guys. Ferreira had 10. He was tremendous in the second half.
Yeah, and again, the half-court trap really played into that as far as limiting the balance of the scoring, more guys getting involved for Lebanon to score, because they really didn't have a lot of answers against that half-court trap other than Rodriguez driving down the gut a couple times.
Let's take a look at the district standings as they are right now. Now, again, remember, these tournament games, these postseason games and these conference tournaments do not count towards any district standings. Once your regular season is over, now had a team been knocked out, like if Lebanon was knocked out and then played a game the remaining part of the week, as long as they got it in by today, they could have that could have impacted them. Reading's the number 1 seed. Wilson's 2. Central Dauphin 3. This is going into play tonight. Central Dauphin tips off in a little bit against Central York. Muhlenberg is 4. Warwick is 5. Cumberland Valley is 6. Lebanon 7. Redline 8. Manheim Township 9. Hempfield 10. Central York 11. And Cedar Crest 12. So let's think about, Marcus Ferreira is coming up now, so we'll get some comments from him. All the LL teams that are making the district playoffs, I mean, this is going to be an LL dominated, at least in terms of teams that qualify, tournament this season. And we'll see what happens down the stretch here. Certainly this Lebanon team has been playing tough all season long. Here is the freshly minted Lancaster Lebanon League champion, Marcus Ferreira, with us here with his gold medal on. That looks all nice and shiny. My man, congratulations to you. What a game for you guys here this afternoon.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but we got it done.
What's Coach telling you there at halftime? Because we'll focus a lot on, you have a 12-point lead. You had to know they were going to come out and take a swing at you in the second half. They did, but you guys were able to hold your composure.
Yeah, we knew coming out at halftime that they were going to try to punch us in the face, so we just tried to come out as best we could. We started off slow, but I think we had to get our rhythm first.
They get hot, and then you lose Luke, and then you lose Isaiah right after that. And between you 3, the only other guy who scored was Demetrius off the bench.
Yeah.
He had the only other 2 points. So what's going through your mind when these guys are going out one by one? Are you thinking you have to be the guy that steps up then down the stretch to carry this team? Or if anybody else, if you had to defer to anybody else on the floor, you had to be pretty confident in them?
Yeah, if anything, my focus was not to turn the ball over. I wasn't really necessarily looking to be the go-to guy to score. I want to get my teammates involved. But my main focus was just not turn the ball over.
I know you guys have a bigger prize in your sights right now, a district championship, and then maybe beyond that, a state championship if you get through that. You guys have all been together for a long time.
Yes.
This is a very, very tight group of guys. I mean, Rodriguez, the quarterback, a lot of guys work out with him over the summer. Luke's been a contributor since his freshman year. What does this mean for you guys as a whole that have all come together and been playing for the last 3-4 years together to win this thing here today?
It means everything, especially the juniors in my grade, and even Mohawk and Roofy and all them. We've been working for this since middle school, since elementary, travel, AAU, and all that paid off for today. So it feels great. It feels awesome.
When we talked to Coach on Thursday night after the semifinal, I had talked to him about when you walk into your gym, all the history is right in your face.
Yeah.
Like all you have to do is look up during the anthem or something like that, and you see everything is like right in your face there. You guys are part of that now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal to the Lebanon basketball community.
Yeah, Coach always talks about, like, before practice or games that we want to get numbers in the banner. And after we got this section, he was like, we're not done. We got to get a league. So that's what we came out and did.
You guys are 7-1 in games decided by single digits. What's that say about your team as you head into the district tournament?
We're fighters. We don't give up. Even when things get hard. See, in this game right here, we knew that we could win this game because we've been in tougher situations, like Warwick, double overtime. So our team, we don't give up. We're strong.
What are you going to do with your piece in the net? Where's that going to go?
It's definitely going to go in my trophy case.
All right. Congratulations to you. Marcus Ferreira, player of the game here. Big afternoon for him. Big second half for him. He had 10 points in the second half as Lebanon wins it today 41-40 here over Hempfield. And what do you guys think about your district match? You don't know what your district matchup is going to be, but, I mean, you just said we're fighters. You're going to take on anybody anywhere, it sounds like.
Yeah, we don't care who we play. We're going to fight to the end. And until somebody knocks us off, then we're going to keep riding confident.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
That's a heck of a game for Marcus and his teammates here today. They win it by 1. As I look down there, I see Tim Spruce still talking to some of the news media, so we'll wait to get him up here. Hopefully we can get him up here for a couple of comments, and then we'll wrap things up. And again, just to recap some of the historical perspective of this game, Lebanon 7-1 in single digits. That's their 11th, or that is the 11th overall Lancaster Lebanon League final, decided by one possession. Fourth lowest total in a final, and the second fewest points by a winning team in the LL final. So that's going to be kind of what defines this game here this afternoon, but that doesn't really speak to how great the game was. I mean, this was a fantastic high school basketball game. As Coach Goodley rejoins me here, as we're going to wait for Coach Spiro to get done downstairs and hopefully get him up here for a couple of comments. He's talking to some of the cameramen downstairs right now. Just some final thoughts, sir, from you on that. First, let's look back at the whole season. We saw a lot of great teams, maybe not the greatest games here and there, but we got a good one here between two rivals in Warwick and Township. Good one on Tuesday night and a great one here today.
Yeah, well, my hat's to the LL League for saying, you know what, we're going to have our season. Then they said we're going to have our playoffs. And to be able to have their playoffs. Imagine this with a packed house, but it wasn't a packed house. But when the game was going on, you sort of felt like it was a packed house. So my hat's off to the LL League for putting this tournament on and going ahead and running it, and for the coaches all through the programs to have the positive attitudes to have to jump over so many hurdles each and every day, not knowing what this day brings, not knowing what this week's going to bring. That just keep. That's really hard to coach in that, and it's unbelievable what the job that they did.
I think the hidden stats that Lebanon also basically beats COVID. I mean, knock on wood that nobody has an issue, but just to get to this point of the season, to be in a final right now. I mean, E-Town, for instance, was in the district field. They can't compete now because of issues. So, I mean, they're out. But, they were able to fight that off, too, and stay healthy enough to stay on the floor.
And congratulations to all the, the section champions. Like Hempfield was a Section 1 champ. That's hard to do. It's hard to win the section. Not to mention to win the league, that's really hard to do. But to win the section, because you always have to beat the best program in the league each year. And then you're going to have to beat the team that, oh, wow, they have everybody back this year. So you have to beat the team that is having one of those years, and you have to beat the best program. So, congratulations to all the section champions, and and to Hempfield and Lebanon to make it here to the LL final and give them a memory that they'll never forget.
Yeah, we'll take a timeout. Are we going to stay up here to get Coach Spiro? I'm going to talk. Okay, for the season. Look, great game here today. 41-40, the final by Lebanon. Coach Spiro is down on the field or down on the floor, so we'll just. He's actually going to come up here now. We're going to get him here at the last minute. He's going to come on up here, and we'll get some comments from the winning head coach of the Lebanon Cedars as he is able to crown his team here today. And talking to Coach Goodley over there for some congratulatory comments.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. Hey, you got to celebrate this one.
You want me right here?
Yep. I'll have you put those on. And look, we talked on Thursday night about the history. You got a chance to put this team up there in the rafters with the other ones in your home gym now.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, it feels good. I'm so proud of these kids right now. The effort they gave, the no quit that they have, the resiliency. Just couldn't be more proud of that group down there right now.
You get 39 points between your big three of Rodriguez, Collins, Ferreira, and then the only other two come from Demetrius Matthew, who we talked about a couple weeks ago as being a key guy for you guys down the stretch.
Right.
But I want to go inside your mind here a little bit, because you lose Luke, you lose Isaiah, and then you've got guys on the floor. Now, I know, again, Diaz and Uffner are only in there for the rebounds, didn't play much during the game, but you've got Kevin Smith, you've got Roof, you've got Uffner, you've got Diaz, and you've got Allwine, all who did not score this afternoon, and they are on the floor as you're trying to win this game.
How about that?
Isn't it funny how that works out?
How about that? Hey, and you know what? Right now, they don't care that they didn't score. You know what? They have a medal around their neck, and we always talk about enjoying the successes of others. And some kids are going to score more. Some are going to get more
That's not to disparage their effort, because they gave you huge minutes and good defensive stands as well. Plus Diaz and Uffner on the low blocks for that winning rebound too.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this group special. They don't care who's scoring. They don't care who's getting the credit. They're in it for the success of the group, and we talk about that often. Being happy for other people's successes, whether it's basketball related or kids getting accepted to college or getting scholarships, things like that. We just talk about enjoying each other's successes, and I'm enjoying their success. I'm just so proud of them right now.
You guys aren't done yet, but it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround for you for districts, and that would be the case normally anyway. But you won't know. You have a good idea tonight, but you won't know officially till tomorrow who your opponent's going to be. But this team is 7-1 in single-digit games this season, including a championship game here this afternoon. And you held off a furious rally. You have to be feeling pretty good about whoever you play on Tuesday night in districts.
Yeah, and part of that is having the guards that we have, and having Isaiah in the middle, who he's not a guard, but he's very heady. He has a good basketball IQ. He understands the game, and then you can just turn it over to Luke and Marquise, and they're not always going to be perfect, but and they'll be the first to tell you they had some bad turnovers tonight. But when the game's on the line, I want the ball in their hands, and just we'll be ready. Whoever it is, we're going to be ready on Tuesday.
The way this game played out, you had to figure they were going to make a run at some point.
Absolutely.
You know how good their offense is. You know how good their defense is too. I mean, it was there. You could have seen this a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately that game couldn't get played, so you didn't really know, in person what it was going to be like. But you knew they were going to make a run. What are you telling your kids at that point when they're starting to chip away at things here?
Just stay the course and just take care of the ball. Get good shots. We weren't in full out stall mode, but we weren't going to rush shots, and it was just a matter of making sure that we're ball faking, that we're moving, that we're not just standing in spots letting them trap us. And we got a little stagnant there for a while, and they forced some turnovers, got some easy buckets at the other end, made a couple threes, and all of a sudden it's a game. And we knew that was going to happen. I talked about it at halftime. Like I said, Coach Walk he's too good of a coach to not have them come out and make a run or 2 runs or 3 runs. So we just had to stay the course and just keep fighting and clawing.
When your season started, you guys were able to practice fully at the beginning of the year. You were able to get a game in before things shut down in December. You look back at that now, and coaches may say, hey, we were fortunate to do that, but how big is that for you guys to then just be able to pick the ball up when the shutdown's over and start right away and not have to go through this 10 practice delay or whatever it was going to be? You guys got everything in before the shutdown, which when you look back at it now, that's huge.
Yeah, it is, and we had a couple shutdowns within our school too, so we did miss some days here and there. But for the most part, I think it's more so because we had everybody back. Everybody was a part of the JV team or the varsity team last year, so we had every player back that was already in the program, and I think that was the bigger key. We didn't have to reteach as much stuff. We didn't have to start over. And we didn't try to adjust too much. We tried to play to that strength of them already having prior knowledge. So let's just add a little bit as we go, because you never know when you're going to get shut down and start over again.
You don't have to cut the hair yet.
Not yet. Not yet. I mean, my wife wants me to. She definitely wants me to. But, no, my son and I are going to keep going. Keep going as long as we're winning.
Well, good luck to you. Let's hope it keeps going for a while. It's Tim Spiro, the winning coach here today. His team wins it 41-40 over Hempfield. They claim the LL League championship and go to 17-3, and they're in action coming up next week in the district tournament. That's going to do it for us here today from Manheim Township. Congratulations to the Lebanon Cedars. Congrats to Hempfield on a great run through LLs. They're also in the 6A tournament, so look for them. Hopefully they get a good matchup, do some damage here as the postseason starts to unwind on Tuesday night. For everybody here at Manheim Township, big thanks to the staff here and all the crew with LL Hoops. For my partner Warren Goodling, we'll talk to you down the line. Lebanon's your LL League champion this season, 41-40. They defeat Hempfield here this afternoon for the title. Have a great rest of your weekend. Great offseason. Enjoy the postseason. We'll talk to you down the line. Have a great time. Bye-bye.